Hello and welcome to the Chattergate podcast, where we just talk random shit about a topic for as long as we can. It's looking very different today. This is very much last minute. Connor is still out of commission. Hopefully, he should be back for the next one. Fingers crossed. But either way, I'm your host, Dranking Thomas Hughes, and today I'm joined by two very special guests to replace Connor. Because you have to have two to replace one. That's how it works here. So obviously on my left, yes, is Mr. Geeky Bear, aka Alex.
Oh, hello. on your left for me, it's Hayden. So I was like, okay, how is this gonna work? But hello.
And on my right is the lovely Hayden, aka Nicola.
Yeah, I'm always on the far right.
I'll let you on the podcast for one episode, and you just already go to dark.
You set me up for it. Just
really keep me on the left. Anyway, so obviously we're doing something a bit different here for today's topic. So we're obviously there's been a recent Marvel trailer, and there's been one just a couple of weeks back. So technically two recent Marvel trailers. So, we're going to have a little talk about the trailers and our thoughts and what we're kind of expecting from them. So, obviously, I think we'll start with the most recent one, which is Hawkeye, the new Disney Plus series coming out in November. It looked a very fun trailer. It's very, very Christmassy.
I mean, we've only had, being shown Kate Bishop for 5 minutes. But if anything happens to her, I will kill all of you and myself, just so you know. I liked her in Bumblebee.
Yeah.
She's a good actress, and I'm seeing the vibe. I'm liking how she's playing Kate Bishop, and it seems like it's going to be a fun, action-packed series. It's basically a bit like Winter Soldier. It's going to be going to have the comedy, it's going to have the entertainment, but the action as well, and probably be more grounded as well, because the whole connection to nice gut mug there, whole connection to Hawkeye's family and stuff. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be fun.
So is this the first Christmas-based Marvel project since Iron Man 3, I think?
Yeah.
Back in 2013?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, it was after Avengers. But yeah, obviously it has your generic Christmas tune from the get-go. The one they always use in every fucking Christmas film and Christmas trailer.
Most wonderful time of the year.
Yep. But, I mean, it's showcased quite a decent amount of action. Obviously, the plot by look of it, obviously, is Kate Bishop's pretend to be Ronin. And obviously Hawkeye has to step in to basically stop her and then realises, wait, you're basically like me. Let's team up. Becoming best friends. Velociraptor!
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Steve Rogers' musical?
Oh,
I know, yeah.
They should actually make it a real thing.
People are speculating. The guy plays Thor and it looks like Chris Evans.
Oh my god.
People are zoomed in and it looks a bit like Chris Evans. The people are speculating that Chris Evans is playing Thor within the Steve Rogers musical.
Honestly, that's perfect.
It'd be genius.
But that makes sense.
Wouldn't you want a Captain America musical?
Obviously. But it makes sense in the universe as well. Because the whole point is that these people, they are real life superheroes, and people in our world will fucking create musicals and TV shows and comics about these characters.
Look at Harry Potter. Harry Potter the musical, fucking brilliant.
I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, because I'm pretty sure there's no Harry Potter musical inside the Harry Potter universe.
Probably not.
I don't imagine fucking Rita Skeeter starts writing this little script right, and Harry does this to Hermione.
Oh no.
Wrong script.
I was going to say, it's the wrong script there, Hayden. But X-rated for us.
But yeah,
this is not the same channel as a few months ago.
That always happens when Whenever I come on, that's what happens. But yeah, it does seem like it's going to be fun, and like the whole Captain America like musical that shows how it's not going to be taking itself too seriously. Like the MCU is like it's all these superheroes and they're basically celebrities, so there's gonna be stories of them and shows of them. And like look at Agent Carter. Like in Agent Carter, Captain America had his own little like a radio series in the show because he's gone and died. Well, died. They believe he's dead, but obviously he's from Frozen. There's a whole like radio show of Captain America and like talking about all these stories, him trying to save this person who his name says suspiciously like Peggy. Totally not the same person. And you're like, oh, Captain America, thanks for saving me. Like all fucking proper. But those things are going to happen in those kind of shows.
Yeah.
So in that universe. So it's ironic that it's Hawkeye, the one they do it with. They show that.
See, from the trailer itself, you got like you sort of got the fun vibe from WandaVision, obviously the jokiness and whatnot. But then you also got the sort of
seriousness of Winter Soldier.
It knew when to go serious, but it wasn't too serious. Obviously, Winter Soldier was very serious for the show because it was dealing with a lot of like obviously race-based plot lines and stuff like that. So it had to be quite serious. Whereas WandaVision didn't have to be. It could be this jokey, tongue-in-cheek at times show before eventually kicking into the darker themes and the seriousness. Whereas this obviously seems more jokey than anything, which you want for a Christmas like based project. You want it to be a bit fun. You want it,
and to be honest, it kind of suits Hawkeye as well.
Yeah, because Hawkeye's always been that character that's not like a serious character. Like
he's like the Green Arrow of the actual comic series.
Yeah, he's a sarcastic character. He's not like the Arrow we see in DC, which is basically just Batman but with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
It's an actual proper Hawkeye with the sarcasm. I mean, remember in Age of Ultron when like fucking Quicksilver beats him, like he pulls the arrow and goes like, no one will notice, no one will know. And he's like, oh no, last time I saw him, Ultron was standing on his dead body. Oh, I missed that speedy bastard. Hawkeye's always been that like sarcastic comic guy. And I think, but he has been a bit like mishandled though, because he hasn't had that much. So it's like in the first Avengers, he was only really there near the end because most of the time he was possessed. And obviously, when we see him Age of Ultron, they do good with him in there. But like, obviously, the Infinity War and Endgame and Civil War, like he just seemed a bit like, damaged, and like he's not as well focused. And the fact that they've actually given him his own show, we can flesh out Hawkeye even more. That'll be good.
Can I say, tables have turned.
Why?
You've put a dog in the background and not me.
And I gotta kill it later.
It just makes me happy.
Talking of dogs, we got to see. I'm not going to shout it out now because my dog's going to go crazy. We saw Lucky in the trailer.
I know, yeah.
The pizza loving dog. I need a dog like that. A pizza loving dog. Seems like Michael's sidekick.
That's true. Although,
what a beautiful dog indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, after reading the Kate Bishop comics not long ago, obviously, Lucky was a big part of that. And you obviously had Kate Bishop's bantery side, which I think definitely is going to work well into this, as seen in the trailer from the get-go. Like when they're going for the arrows, and he's like, "Nope, definitely not." And she's like, "Whoa, what do you mean by definitely not that?" And when he shoots the arrow, it blows up, and she's like, "There's something worse than that."
It's going to be fun. You can definitely see. Like, I know it's definitely going to be your favorite because you love Hawkeye, and like until they do a War Machine show,
Armor Wars.
like until then, I think this will be like your peak for the MCU shows.
Well,
and I honestly, I think I'd agree with that.
The peak since the
Yeah.
pre-MCU, not fully MCU, maybe MCU eventually shows.
Obviously, I like as well that they didn't really show who's actually hunting them.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously, there's a speculation with it being Yelena. Obviously, she was
Which is going to be
showing.
for the fact that she's in the show.
It's most likely going to be her. But the fact that they don't show her, and don't really show anyone who's chasing them,
Well,
it adds a little bit of mystery to
They
it.
don't really show any sort of plot, really. It's just like, oh yeah,
No.
Hawkeye meets Kate Bishop and they're going on an adventure, and that's all it really shows. It doesn't really show too much, which is good. It doesn't reveal too much. Obviously, the next trailer probably reveal a bit of a story, like, oh, this is what's actually going to happen. But for the first trailer, to give you like this little tease of what to expect, it does a good job. It gets you definitely drawn in, like, okay. I'm
not
into
gonna
this.
lie. I did think Hawkeye's daughter was going to be the next Hawkeye,
No.
but
I mean,
that was because
That's going to.
I know that she wasn't alive during the snap, so she would have been too young. But yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be Scott Lang's daughter. She's going to be
she's
Stature,
gonna
is it?
be, I believe so.
Stature.
Something like that. Bit of a different actress for the third time.
Yeah, it probably will be. Yeah, because the better time.
Oh no, she is. She is. They've recast her,
Yeah.
and she's a different person. She's the one out of Detective Pikachu.
But the character will be
Yeah.
looking Stature.
Yeah,
That makes sense though, because Stature is blonde. So, and let's see how they do with her. But obviously, they're all setting up this whole the next Avengers kind of thing with Kate Bishop,
young Avengers and all
Mantle.
that.
So it's definitely nice to see that pan out. And as I said, it's nice to see Hawkeye get his show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Hawkeye's been like kicked to the curb way too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's about time he gets the
deserves a bit more love.
spotlight. See, I remember when the first Avengers film came out, and I remember I think in science, and everyone was talking about it, and they were all going like the favourite like Avengers, and I was there going Hawkeye, and they're like, "Who's that?" And I was like, looked at him, I was like, and someone walked over and went, "It's the guy with the bow and arrow," and I was like,
"Yeah, it's like a fake fan."
I was like, "Respect."
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the fact, obviously, they give you the little character cameos as well. Like if obviously you know who the characters are being cast as, you go, okay, so obviously Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, his daughter, Echo was in it as well. The death character that's coming into it. She was in this thing that's very red. It's very Daredevil-esque. And obviously they say Lucky. Her mom obviously is seen. Obviously she's been played by the one at the Conjuring franchise.
Yeah, she is.
And obviously you just get these little like glimpses of characters. And I feel like if they definitely if there's a second trailer, if they fucking drop a fucking Kingpin cameo in the second trailer, I feel like everyone's gonna lose their shit.
That will be cool.
Because he's been speculating a lot. He even fucking retweeted the trailer. The guy who played Kingpin in Daredevil. He even retweeted the trailer, and everyone's like kind of losing the shit. Like, is he gonna be in it? Is he?
Because if he is in it, then that, for me at least, gives it a better chance of Daredevil being in another thing, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, because obviously this is. I think that episode would be the episode is rumored to cameo appearing.
Yeah,
which is I think like halfway through the series. Would be before that film came out, so obviously that would be the confirmation.
Yeah.
There's probably a good chance that he was going to be in that, or at least an upcoming one.
Definitely.
It's the idea of you can't have one without the other. Like with Thor, you can't really have Thor without Chris Hemsworth's Thor without Tom Hiddleston's Loki, because they work so well together. It's that sort of idea of you can't really have Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin without Charlie Cox's Daredevil, because they work so well. Again, you can't really have Kristen Rita's Jessica Jones without David Tennant's
David Tennant,
Purple Man, or
Kilgrave.
Obviously that's the thing, because obviously those are the ones that are expected to sort of be back in the MCU, that the rumours are. Whereas other characters are obviously rumoured to just be recast and rechanged.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I do want Defenders.
Yeah, I do. I kind of want them all to come back, because it'd be the idea of people are familiar with them. You don't have to really build on them. You can just like do hints at stuff, but you don't have to really build upon them. They're there, you know they are. But obviously, if rumors obviously are true, obviously 2 of them are basically getting the chop, which is Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Because they were the ones that didn't perform the best.
Yeah.
Well, especially Iron Fist. Luke Cage.
Yeah. Has some good.
I feel like you have to have Luke Cage like exist though for like that same
Jessica
one
Jones.
for the fact that he appeared in her show and inside her.
And inside
quite a few times really.
Definitely broke a better too in that one series.
I need to rewatch Jessica Jones.
But like there is a whole thing of like if they do like recast them, so there's just alternative universe versions of them. So like, is the Netflix ones just their variants or what? So because obviously they still make it very obvious that it's the MCU. When obviously they don't mention the Hulk and Captain America by name, but they say the green guy who destroyed New York or the flag waver, obviously meaning Captain America. Like they're hinting at it, so like it's very obvious in the MCU. So you don't really need to like recast them or cut them. Because I think that was a Netflix show.
Yeah, different
right?
part of Marvel completely. So obviously, if they did bring them in, they'd have to start from sort of scratch. Obviously, they couldn't really count those as their origins. They'd have to restart from scratch because Marvel TV and obviously now Marvel is 2 completely different things.
But to be fair though, they don't really need to start from scratch. They could just like you said, don't really mention the backstory, like a little hint at it or allude to it, just a little sentence or something.
It'd be cool if they fucking followed on from it. That'd be amazing. But obviously, there's obviously many ways they can sort of go around it.
Yeah. Well, they can just buy Netflix, you know. It's Disney. They'll find a way to buy everything. First we'll get Sony, and then we'll get, then we'll buy Netflix, then we'll buy Amazon. We'll buy everyone. Just buy everyone, yeah.
We'll soon be owned by Disney.
But I mean, obviously, in terms of obviously going back to the trailer itself, it's definitely one that should bring hype because it does look very entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it starts the back end of November. I think. Just want to double check that. Hawkeye. It comes out exactly. Where are you? November 24th. And we'll have 6 episodes. And we'll finish December 29th.
Cool. It's definitely gonna it's definitely going to be something that we're probably going to really enjoy watching.
I love the fact it's already got a spin-off in the works though. I love the fact that they're already making a spin-off.
Good.
To Echo.
Nice.
I love that. Obviously when it's like, it was when it was in development and the caster they're like, yeah, we're making a spin-off now based on there. That's gonna be interesting because obviously that's a good way they can bring in Daredevil and Kingpin for the fact that according to the series she's the adopted daughter of Kingpin.
So they kind of need to have
Kingpin involved.
Inside. Yeah. That'd be quite fun. Like an actual Daredevil film or something, or having him in the show. Definitely got to make a film. Like just having him in the show, I think would be good enough for fans.
Yeah.
Oh, there's rumours he might appear in She-Hulk. That's another rumour that's going around.
Yeah, that makes sense as well, because obviously both being lawyers.
Then again, sticking with Disney Plus though, I fucking saw an image the other day. Obviously, Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke are in the Moon Knight series. They were William Dafoe. They were all together, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
There's goblins saying over. There's a goblin that pussy.
Hayden, this is a PG-13 show.
Fuck that shit. Anything else you want to bring up on the series before we move on to the second half of the talk?
I can't think of anything else. Alex?
I
So
think
then,
it'll be a fun show.
speaking of Goblin,
Okay, so obviously the second half of this talk is now going to be based on the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, which came out I think about 3 weeks ago. Was it something like
yeah,
that? It drops to I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Instantly watched it at 2 o'clock in the morning. And
I was going to say sadder, but that's not really sad. That's just dedicated.
and I was at work at the time. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I was on break. It came out on break. I was like, watch.
Ooh.
And I mean, wow! If a trailer can get you any more hyped, it's that. Like,
Yep.
that for me could be the one that actually takes me back to the cinema. For the fact that I've just basically been watching stuff on demand and stuff for the past obviously year. This could be the one that drags me back to the cinema to watch something, because
Definitely.
my god, it looks so amazing. Like, it starts off obviously very slow, the trailer, because it's just like recapping obviously the events of the last one. Like, he's in jail, he's getting arrested now, everyone's hating him. Some people are supporting him, but some are hating him. Flash's now got blonde hair, and it's just slowly building up before it then kicks in with obviously the Doctor Strange stuff, and it goes all spookified, multiverse, and you know, some stuff at the end which we'll get to in a minute. And it does a really good job of hyping up a movie. I feel like though this movie could have got away with a trailer, because of the fact there was that much hype behind it. Everyone could have skipped the trailer and they could have gone straight to watch it and got the hype. But I feel like this just improves that hype.
Yeah,
that makes me think though, if this movie is a letdown, people are gonna be really pissed off.
Do you know what? Like, I think even if it is like a letdown to some people, I don't think I'll be let down, because the very fact that, like, obviously that they show at least the idea, this whole reason why everyone's so hyped, because they want all three Spider-Man to be in one film together, and that's what they want. And that's what the whole rumors were about, that it was all three Spider-Man. And the fact that this trailer shows near the end the fact that they're bringing back Doc Ock from the Sam Raimi films and Electro and possibly Lizard, because little tiny Sandman
looks like Sandman in the trailer as well.
Yeah, and of course we're looking forward to William Dafoe Goblin. And even if they actually bring back the Spider-Man, I was fine just bringing back William Dafoe. You know what I mean? Just bringing back him isn't enough for me. That's me associated.
Like, they don't really need the other Spider-Man either. Not really.
Yeah. But like, there will be an added bonus. How I see it. Like, the three Spider-Mans, it'll be fun to watch. It'll be good.
Be a bonus. I feel like having them in it though is the equivalent of Captain America picking up Thor's hammer. Like, the hype when people watch it, everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, it'll be so great. But even if you don't have that, it will still be good enough for me. That's how I say. But I would prefer to have that option happen. Yeah. But if it doesn't, I won't be that right then.
It needs to start with Tobey Maguire coming at the portal going, "Pizza time," and then punching someone in the face. That's how it needs to start.
It does. I mean, like, I'm probably one of the few people that I quite liked the Amazing Spider-Man film. Well, the first one.
Yeah, first one's good, but the second one's...
Second one, like, has good moments to it. Just... Most of it's lame. But the first Amazing Spider-Man's great.
What was that, Alex?
Oh, I haven't seen them for ages. Films.
Oh, well. Still, like... So I would look forward to seeing like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being Spider-Man alongside Tom Holland, because I think it'll be really fun to see. It's just a way of like, because everyone like seems to be comparing like Tom Holland to like Tobey Maguire and stuff. There is a big resurgence of people like, oh, this is like this made him so shit and stuff. Like, I don't like how to do the suits now. It's all just CGI. It's like, well, what do you expect? This is the MCU. Like, the MCU are famous for modernizing like the comics and the cheesy shows. And like, as cool as like the Sam Raimi films are, let's be honest, it never made sense how he made that suit.
No.
Or in Amazing Spider-Man. Even though in Amazing Spider-Man, it still looked a little bit like it was handmade, like just basically sewing trousers in. The rest of the suit still looks like it's like made by a cinema, and the fact that like the one that we see Tom Holland make in like Civil War, and then eventually we see it again in Homecoming, is obviously the hoodie that the put together suit, and then obviously when that Tony gives him his first Spider-Man suit, that makes sense why it looks like a movie quality. And actually the Step Up one, that also makes sense story-wise, because Tony would always be trying to upgrade on his like suits and the armor that he makes. So he would make a Spider-Man's like fucking nanobot suit for the Iron Spider suit. He would make that. So it makes like story-wise sense why he has that. And he doesn't always stick with that suit. You know what I mean? People don't really understand that. People think that that's all it is. But the suit that Tony first gave him, that wasn't nanobot. That was the normal suit that made him fit to his size. So, you know, people can be a bit critical, don't they? I think a lot of people tend to they focus on what used to be and don't let change happen. I think that's what we need to do to enjoy these films more, and to not see this as a letdown. Is by knowing this isn't like a brand new reboot. Really, it's more of it's just times are changing. It's the passage of time, you know.
Yeah.
And the only time where things are fucked up is when it's the Ben 10 reboot, but we don't talk about that. That's the only time when we're allowed to criticize it. But
I've never seen Hayden talk so passionately about something.
Well, she has always loved Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Marvel films.
I forgot Spider-Man was your favorite one, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I've always loved
fake friend.
I always remember that Hawkeye was yours.
I've always loved Sam Raimi films, and I've loved the first Amazing Spider-Man, but I honestly prefer Tom Holland's one. Because I've always said is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was it was the perfect Toby, perfect Peter Parker, but
Toby, yes,
he wasn't really the best Spider-Man. He didn't really have that much quips. He had a few, he didn't have that sort of essence of joking around, sarcastic, while still being bumbly as a teen. And it was the complete opposite for Andrew Garfield, where his Spider-Man was full of fucking sarcastic comments and wisecracks. But so was his Peter Parker. His Peter Parker was just too cool to be a nerd. You know what I mean? He was a skateboarder, and that didn't feel like Peter Parker. He didn't even wear the fucking glasses, even before he became fucking Spider-Man. Then you have Tom Holland's fucking Spider-Man, which is the perfect mix of still looks like a teenager. He hasn't that element of that kind of a gawky kind of dork, but also got the Peter, the sarcastic side coming out mostly when he did Spider-Man. So to me, he was always the best out of the three, but I'll always love the other two. I mean, so that's why it'd be good to see them all three together. The three generations Spider-Man, and each one has their own good parts and bad parts.
Yeah.
So there's no need to fully compare them and criticize them because one's not like the other. I might prefer Tom Holland, but I always love the Sam Raimi ones as well, and Andrew Garfield. So yeah, that's my input there.
I think Liverpool's playing.
I'm assuming you hear people shouting.
Side of me.
But yeah, obviously, one of the cool things with this, obviously, as I say, is the villains coming back. But I mean, there's one thing I love about this trailer is the fact it feels like a Doctor Strange movie at the same time.
Yeah.
From the get-go, it feels very Doctor Strange. Yes, the whole trains. So I saw someone made an edit the trains and put fucking that scene when Ted Maguire's holding the train. They put him across all the trains, and the comment below is yeah, this is fake. But obviously, you obviously got the Inception like city just engulfing itself.
Yeah, that's very Doctor Strange indeed.
It very much felt like obviously the 2016 Doctor Strange movie, which is a great movie, and it definitely felt like that. Obviously, the start of it felt like the Spider-Man. Obviously, then it felt like Doctor Strange in the middle, and then at the end it felt like Spider-Man again. But with a sprinkle of Doctor Strange for the multiverse aspect.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think this like broke records for like, the most viewed trailer like very quickly. In like the first 24 hours, I think it was like one of the most viewed trailers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it beat Endgame by like God knows how much.
I think on Twitter at least, like the the retweets and stuff. I don't know. Let's have a quick Google. You keep talking while I Google.
Yeah, well, I think like that scene of with the trains and the Inception stuff, that basically says at some point either that's the multiverse breaking or they're in the mirror dimension.
Yeah.
At some point, like they've had to go for other dimensions.
I'm also thinking at the same time with the train dimension part.
Yeah.
Is that dark Doctor Strange? Because to me, he looks like he's wearing darker clothing, and I'm not sure if that's just the lighting or if it's actually.
I still think it's Mephisto.
That's those are like there's quite a few like there's different like theories. There's one your theory is that that's the dark one, or there's a theory like
my theory. I was just thinking like I'm not sure if I'm going bloody insane or not.
But there's also
everyone thinks Mephisto. Everyone wants Mephisto. They've been wanting it since.
That makes sense for the Multiverse of Madness movie. Mephisto's the big bad guy.
Yeah.
No, I know. But, come on, calm down, guys.
There's also people thinking that it might be Wanda might be the big bad. Because do you know that scene where he's trying to do the spell and like Peter's talking? People were saying like Strange isn't talking to Peter when he's saying stop tampering with the spell. Apparently, people think the theory going on that he's actually talking to Wanda when she's looking for the dark hold. She's looking for the dark hold, and she's using her magic and stuff. People think it's her interfering.
Then who's that at the end of WandaVision?
What do you mean?
Well,
like you've seen the end credit thing.
Oh, the recut end credit with that ghosty figure. Yeah. There's many things it could be. It could either be Doctor Strange or Vision. But if it's Doctor Strange, then I don't see it being that. Who knows? Maybe that's in the movie.
We'll find out.
Okay, so I found the trailer stats here. Okay, so Spider-Man No Way Home, the Marvel Entertainment release trailer, so far is clocking at 23 million views, whereas the Sony release trailer is clocking at 66 million views. Comparison to Endgame on Marvel Entertainment, both of them are clocking in at well over 100 million. But I think it was like in terms of like retweets and that with Spider-Man, that's what obviously got it breaking records. It like broke the records those retweets within like so long in terms of trailer. I think that's what
it was something.
It broke something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
It broke Tom's phone because he threw it when he saw it.
To be fair though, it probably could broke records because Kevin Feige was like, "Oh no, we won't do a trailer for Spider-Man like No Way Home." 5 minutes later, releases trailer for No Way Home.
Have you seen that meme? Obviously, Andrew Garfield did an interview recently on like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of them. And they kept asking him about it, and he was like, the image is Photoshop, it's Photoshop. And there's a meme of him saying like, oh, that image, of me as Spider-Man, and there's a picture of like Kevin Feige with a sniper rifle going, just fucking say it's real. And he's like, it's Photoshop.
Nope, Hayden's disappeared behind the leg.
But yeah, this is definitely something that's going to be a big. This is sort of Avengers Endgame and Infinity War level of big.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not going to be a disappointment. It just can't be at this point.
I mean, they haven't fucked up with either of them so far. The Spider-Man movies. That's what I mean. Spot on.
I don't think even if they did, if they tried to fuck up and make it like a shit film, I don't think it would be.
I mean,
I
like,
don't think at this point it can.
I mean,
yeah,
Unless
how,
it's
and
basically just
I mean,
record
how many MCU movies is there now?
loads.
20 odd, isn't there?
Yeah.
20 odd.
yeah,
In my opinion, there's only been really three big fuck ups in my opinion.
Dark World being
Dark World, Iron Man 2, and for its villain aspect, it'd be Captain Marvel. They fucked up with the villains for me in that. So those are their kind of three kind of fuck ups for me, like the ones that weren't consistent with quality.
But even those ones, they're still watchable.
Yeah.
And it's still like there are some good moments in it, like Dark World. All of Loki's moments are fucking amazing. In Captain Marvel, most of the film's good.
Nick Fury,
especially brilliant in it.
And Iron Man 2, probably the stuff with War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine was brilliant in it. It was just Whiplash, really.
The race car scene was quite cool as well when he's putting
the suits
that was
on. Cool. Yeah, it was more of like the Whiplash 2.0.
Yeah,
I can't remember it.
The Russian guard bird.
My bird.
It
is not my bird.
Is it your bird? Is it his bird? Give me bird.
I just feel like I feel like it's probably just they cast the wrong guy as Whiplash. I mean, Mickey Rourke was probably because he was big at the time, but I mean, that's probably a big fuck up.
I'd love it if the only had Whiplash was just Hammer.
Which is why I'm hoping he comes back for Armor Wars.
I was saying, he was fucking amazing, he was. So funny.
It'd be really good. So obviously then they can build up for him, obviously, his organisation, can't they?
Yeah. So even if they fucked up with this film, it's still going to be good and watchable.
I don't think they're going to fuck up. I feel like it's probably going to piss some people off. There's some aspects not in it that, like, they say if Peter Parker's don't show up and they're like, he's not in there. But you can have those sort of people, but then I feel like overall most people are going to be like, it's still a really enjoyable movie.
How I see it is like when you're going into the film without your expectations. If you go in there with your expectations, you're basically setting yourself for a fall.
Yeah.
Like, you're always going to be like, oh, it wasn't how I wanted it, so I don't like it.
It's
a bad film.
How anyone wants it.
Yeah, it's like Connor was refuses to watch the trailer. He won't watch the trailer for it because he wants to go in there without this knowledge in it.
Yeah.
Good.
I want to watch I like watching the trailer, and I want to go to the film. I'm not going to go to the film like if Peter Parker's not in, if Tobey Maguire's not here, I'm gonna go moan. And
if Tom Holland's not in the film, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be a fucking Spider-Man film, would it?
Like, even if he goes to Tom Holland, it just skips him.
But I think like from what we've seen in the trailer, even that is enough for me. Like I said, as long as William Dafoe's there, I'm fine. And it shows they usually the voice.
That's what you're saying. You don't need the movie, you just need that trailer. That's all. That's good enough for you.
Yeah, don't forget the movie. I just want this trailer. Oh,
yeah.
Take my money. I'm paying for this trailer right now.
It's definitely going to be like a big full-time blockbuster film. It's like probably one of the big ones.
See, in terms of obviously, if you look at like the mini sort of like the solo movies, this is probably as big as like Civil War.
Definitely.
Because if you look at all the other solo movies, they're all like for example, if you look at obviously Black Panther, Captain Marvel, obviously Shang-Chi recently, the Thor movies. But if you look at all the solo movies, even if there's like characters appearing from other movies, like obviously Shang-Chi, obviously you've got Wong that's appeared in it. Obviously in Black Panther, you had obviously Martin Freeman's character from Civil War appearing, and obviously you had Claw appearing in it as well. Obviously, those are just cameo. These little appearances. They're not these big sort of events like things.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Civil War, it was basically everything coming into like involved. And obviously this, though obviously you got though if you look at obviously I know Iron Man was in the first Spider-Man. Nick Fury was in the second Spider-Man. In the second Spider-Man, they're involved with the plot, but not heavily involved. Obviously, Nick Fury is more involved with the second plot than Iron Man was in the first plot. But this, obviously, Doctor Strange is a big part of the plot. He's going to be in it throughout the film, pretty much. So it's going to be this big thing. And obviously, as you say, if they're bringing all these villains in from the multiverse, that's for me that's as big as Civil War.
Yeah, as well. Think about it. Like in the first two Spider-Man films, it's like Tony's the one that finds, obviously, goes to Peter. It's not Peter like going to Tony. This Nick Fury is the one he goes to Peter, shoots Ned in the face.
Yeah.
He's the one that goes there. Whereas this one, it's Peter going to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So it's more of like Peter's now become less passive like he was in the first two films and becoming more like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, because it's using Halloween.
Yeah, that was really clever. That was.
That's funny.
But it's obviously it's the idea of for two films and even Civil War, people are going to him. They were like, "You're the new guy. Come and join me here. I've got your back. I need your help." Whereas now it's the fact that he's like a very much established Avenger, essentially.
Yeah.
He was Iron Man's right-hand man, basically, and now he has the confidence to go to people and say, "Okay, I need your help on this. I need you to help me fix this mess that I'm in right now," which is obviously the death of obviously Mysterio.
It's all about him trying to grow up, basically, and become like his own individual. Because the fact of building with how he's done his origins, it has to be like starts off. He's more of like he goes on by the success of the other heroes.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's him building his own success, really, and then he got to learn from his mistakes and getting help, learning to ask for help. Because in the first Spider-Man film, it's more about him like wanting to do it on his own. Instead of like asking Tony, "Can you help? Or can I help you with it?" It's more of like, "I want to be able to do this." You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to help, like defeat Vulture and stuff, instead of like Iron Man sending the FBI. Instead, he wants to do it himself. Whereas, obviously, in this one, it's more about him learning, "I fucked up. I need help." And to ask Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So I feel like one of the cool things, obviously, this trailer is the shots they specifically use for obviously the introduction of the villains. Obviously, for Green Goblin, you got the Goblin bomb, the pumpkin bomb, which obviously with the laugh of Willem Dafoe. Obviously, Electro got you see the yellow lighting there, not the blue shitty lighting. Obviously, Doc Ock, you have obviously his tentacle plus his face appear at the end, which is good CGI there for de-aging. Obviously, there's that mysterious villain within that darkness, which could be Lizard. It could also be Venom. There's a few things it could be.
If it is Venom, let's hope it's Tom Hardy, not the other one.
Well, I'll explain something in a bit during my news segment, which I'll tell you in a bit. And obviously, there's a shot that looks kind of like Sandman, putting sand up in front of Spider-Man. So there's really cool shots. Obviously, there's the obvious ones, and there's the ones that are very mysterious. And for the fact there's apparently an extra, like one more villain at the in the film that no one knows yet, it's got people speculating: is it going to be Mysterio back? Is it going to be obviously Vulture involved? Is it going to be any of these characters? Scorpion. Yeah, those are different characters. People are speculating, which is quite cool.
It's going to either settle the Sinister Six or it's going to be the Sinister Six.
Yeah, I definitely like the fact that it's a trailer and a film that's got people talking a lot. Like some don't get people talking as much. So people are like, okay, this is the one let's do this. But this is definitely one that since they announced it, since they went into production, people have been speculating, people have been talking exactly what's going to happen. So I'm definitely all for this movie.
It's one of those films that like gets you asking more questions than answering what you've already had going into it. Like you know that it's going to be using like the the Sam Raimi villains. At least we know that specific for definite. So it's like, are they this same ones from that universe, or are they going to be like this universe version, like they do with JJ and Jameson, where he happens to look exactly the same?
I think from what Alfred Molina was saying, I don't know if he was taking the piss or not. He's apparently saying no, and he went under the water. Basically, he gets taken then. That's what he was claiming. He was saying basically when he's supposed to have died, he went for a portal or something. That's the That's what he said, but it's Alfred Molina is like pretty toying with you.
Yeah, probably.
I do like
we
Alfred
know
Molina.
for a fact that J. Jonah Jameson is the exact same person in each multiverse. There's no saying it. Even in Marvel Zombies universe, it's J. Jonah Jameson, the exact same one. Can't replace him.
So it definitely gives you some speculation as to are they the same versions or are they this universe versions? And the fact that it's all about the multiverse breaking down, anything goes.
Yeah, basically.
They could just be variants, or they could be this universe version, and the ones we see in Sam Raimi's films, they're the variants.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways this movie could go. So roll on December.
Yes, can't wait.
Okay, so that's our topic. So obviously for this show I do a little news segment, and I'm doing this on the fly for the fact that this is, as I said, last minute, so I didn't get anything prepared. So she's literally just on the fly. Some of this off the top of my head. So obviously Venom 2, which obviously Let There Be Carnage, had its sort of fan premiere recently. To very positive reviews. It's apparently meant to be really good. Apparently it's meant to be fast paced, back in all out action and all out carnage, as someone's put it bluntly.
Get it?
Even though it's only an hour and a half, it's a short film. But apparently that's because they want it to be so quick paced. You don't need to establish characters apart from these couple of characters. So just go for it, all out action. And apparently that's what it is. And apparently there's a mind blowing end credit scene. Apparently.
So that could be.
It could be
Doctor Strange or.
It could be some. Apparently there's a massive fucking end credits. I feel like if it is something like that, Doctor Strange portal, I definitely feel like that's Venom in that No Way Home trailer then.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see when we get to either Venom or when we get to
Venom's out in 2 or 3 weeks' time, I think it is.
And when we watch Venom, we'll at least know for sure.
Yeah.
At least have some good speculation.
Yeah.
As if it actually is him.
What else we got for movie news? Trying to think what else has been announced recently.
Shang-Chi's the top film in the UK at the moment.
Yeah, I think I brought Shang-Chi up the last podcast when I did it by myself.
Well, I'm bringing up again.
It was breaking records and shit. Here we go. Here's something I was going to bring up. They just cast 2 actors for the Lost Boys reboot. That was the vampire film. They've cast Noah Jupe, who was. Let's double check which one's which here. I'll get really confused. Where are you? Let's get the actual article up. It would be easier. Noah Jupe was recently in the Quiet Place Part 2 film. He was in both Quiet Places.
Damn, he looks quiet then, doesn't he?
Hey, get it?
Is that one? I'm getting confused here. There's 2 kids there. Yeah, Noah Jupe is from A Quiet Place, and Jaden Martell, who played Bill in the It movies. Both of those 2 have been cast in it. So this article has really confused me. It was basically putting Jupe as both of the people. I was like, wait, he was in both? No, he wasn't. But yeah, obviously the cast 2 for the Lost Boys reboot they're doing currently. That's in early development.
Yeah, I like the first film. That might be interesting.
Obviously there's obviously I think it was the Venice film festival or something. They premiered Halloween Kills. Obviously these follow up to the 2018 Halloween film, and it got a very mixed response in comparison to how the first one quickly shot off as really acclaimed. At the moment, I think it's at 59% on Rotten Tomatoes, but that's gone up. It's gone up. It was at 50 or 40 something, and it has slowly crept up. So it might, by the time obviously it comes out, go up a bit more. So obviously that's something I'm looking forward to, because obviously it's gone on. I think in America it's going streaming the same day as cinema, so we'll see how it's fully working everywhere. I think it's just cinema only over here.
Apparently, trending on Twitter right now is people asking for the Batman Ben Affleck film.
It's been trending for.
Mm.
People have been making that trend for fucking ages now.
Still trending. That'd be cool. Apparently, because Batman Day on the was on the 3rd September, on the third Saturday of September. So apparently it's Batman Day today. So people are asking for a Ben Affleck Batman film.
Just call it Batfleck. That's what people call it.
Yeah, the Batfleck movie.
TV news. Obviously, the Boys Series 3 finally finished filming recently.
Boy.
The third season of Sex Education on Netflix, apparently.
Yeah, that came out yesterday. Yeah, that's meant to be.
Here's something interesting.
Great.
The main actor from the Lost TV series is basically making a return to TV after all these years. With like some TV show on Peacock. Obviously, it's technically speaking, it's a streaming TV series, but it's still a TV series, so that's something interesting.
How Lost was it?
Well, he hasn't really done that much really since Lost. I think the last thing I saw him in was a film from like 2015, like 2 films. That was it. He hasn't done anything since 2015.
So he got really lost then.
Yeah, like he finished Lost in 2010. He was in a film, 2 films in 2012. He was a cameo in World War Z in 2013, and in 2 horror films in 2015. And he hasn't done anything since. So basically, it's his like first thing since then. Okay, so in gaming news, there's a new SpongeBob game being announced.
Oh,
I'm sorry, what?
It's like a multiverse game now.
Oh God!
It's called
SpongeBob into the multiverse.
It's from the same, obviously the same creators as the remake of Rehydrated they did recently. From the same company. It's called the Cosmic Shake. The trailer looked quite funny. They used the song "The Winner Takes All." That one. They used that song. Obviously showing them we can go through the multiverse, meeting all different like multiverse-based SpongeBob characters, like the caveman characters, Sandy in the Bruce Lee looking outfit, and the cowboy SpongeBob and stuff like that. He was going through all of them, so it looks quite interesting.
I'm going to call it SpongeBob into the Spongeverse. So you know.
That sounds.
That's its new name.
From Minster.
Going into the Spongeverse, it's fine. You switch the words spider and sponge. It's fine.
Obviously, last week they announced Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Marvel's Wolverine for PS5. Exclusively for PS5, I will add. God of War Ragnarok, which is going to be the final entry of the Norse
Big Four
duology.
Big Boy 4.
Big Boy 4.
That's all I keep seeing on like TikTok and everything.
Yeah, I love that. That is basically the most like historically accurate 4 that's ever been done. Because technically he was supposed to be a ginger big boy. He's supposed to be really, really... Basically, he was a boulder. Basically, he was a big boy.
Yeah, so Endgame got it half right with the big boy bit, but...
Endgame was right. Just got to change his hair.
Yeah.
Well, at least now we're talking cosplayers.
That's perfect for you. There you go.
Obviously, the new Battlefield got delayed by a month, apparently. That's all my news. I'm going to do a very last minute, if I can remember the film from last night, movie review. So I'm going to be reviewing Occupation Rainfall, which is a Australian film. It's got someone at the originals in Hayden.
Now I'm interested.
The one brother, not the main brother, the other brother. Is the main brother Klaus?
Main one's Klaus. You've got
the other brother.
Elijah.
Yeah, I think it's him. He's in it.
There's Klaus, Elijah, and Cole. That's all I remember.
Yeah, he's in it. It's a follow-up to a 2018 film called just titled Occupation, and it's basically Independence Day, but also Red Dawn at the same time. Like it's the plot of the first one is aliens invade, and basically the last of humanity in Australia have to fight back. And this is basically,
Of course, it's Australia.
this is 2 years later. It's like it's probably like one of the most expensive like Australian movies like that's specifically made by Australians in Australia. It's probably one of the most expensive ones. Got to be. And obviously this one's like set 2 years after the invasion. Obviously after they did all the stuff in the first film, and basically they're trying to discover this like secret operation that's titled Rainfall. So it's basic. It's kind of like you got half a plot, which is obviously like a bunch of people dealing with obviously. It kind of does with a lot of racism at the same time, for the fact that obviously there's aliens that are working with humans, so a lot of people hate these aliens. So it's kind of dealing with like racism there in those aspects.
Like District 9.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. And obviously there's like the buddy story where obviously an alien and obviously human who hate each other after going like an adventure to try and find this operation. And there's a lot going on. Yeah. It's very action packed. I will say it's about 2 hours long. It's very action packed. It's good when it comes to action. Its CG isn't bad. Like it's very noticeable at times. Like you can notice it. Like I can tell it's a bit CGI there. But it's not for the fact it's basically like not a massive company. I won't give it too much stick because it's not a big company who's made this, so it's good for who they are basically.
So when do the bunny girls get into it?
There's a scene that basically draws me in, like that's basically a full CGI scene, like the landscape and everything CGI, where basically there's like a giant like kind of spider monster like alien, and it's fighting these two like horse-like aliens, and like everything's just CGI. You can tell it's gone from like it's like actual like normal landscape to they've CGI'd the entire place, but it's very noticeable. But it's not bad. No, it's not bad. It's quite decent. Story itself is quite interesting. Obviously, as I said, they're trying to find this secret place, and it leads to some really interesting moments. As I say, it leads to a lot of like race-based moments where people are like, "Oh, hand over the alien. Oh, we don't want their kind here," and it's humans that are protecting them. Like, this is my house. Get the fuck out. They're my friends. Like those sort of moments. So it's quite from the heart at times. It's quite realistic, but with aliens involved. The actors aren't bad. Obviously, as I say, it's not like a massive amount of people that you would recognise. Like there's some that you go, oh yeah, the guy who played Jango Fett in the Attack of the Clones, he's in it. Someone at Home and Away, he's in it. He was also in Power Rangers at one point.
Neighbour.
Obviously, you got the guy who got Originals.
Elijah.
You got the guy from fucking Hangover, the Asian guy.
Oh my god, isn't it?
He's in it. There's a lot of like funny moments in it though. There's like obviously they say that the aliens kind of leads to the comedy, like the good aliens. There's like he works with obviously the guy from Hangover, and he's a bit of an idiot though. And he instantly walks in with a fake mustache on. Like you can clearly tell it's like an alien mask with a mustache over the top of it. And he comes in and starts fucking like laughing and everything. He rips it off at one point. Obviously, there's a lot of like arguments to him, which is quite funny. But I mean, you go into this film just for the action, pretty much. It's just an all-out war, basically, between humans and aliens. And it's a worthy follow-up to the 2018 one. And not to spoil too much, but they've already basically pretty much announced that there's a third one coming out, which is going to be Rainfall Chapter 2. So obviously, there's a big cliffhanger ending at the end of this, which sets up a third film. But obviously, obviously we've seen a couple of Australian films, me and you. Obviously, we watched Rogue, we watched Bait. Obviously, I'm a decent fan of obviously Australian cinema. Wolf Creek, Tomorrow When the War Began,
Power Rangers. That's New Zealand.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's New Zealand. Heading, get it right.
I'm taking the piss.
There's a few other Australian films out there I'm a big fan of, and obviously. I enjoyed the first Occupation. I thought it was a decent. As I say, it just reminded me of Independence Day, but also Red Dawn in the sense that people are like, I think they're playing football in the first. Actually, it was rugby. I think because it's Australia, and obviously aliens invade and they're fighting back. And I think it definitely reminded me of the start of Red Dawn. And obviously, then going to this, they basically upped the ante. They made it bigger. They made it more explosive and more CGI. But yeah, it's a decently it's decent Australian production, I'd say.
Mm.
And out of 5, I think I'll give it 4 out of 5. It's
Nice.
a fun film
No,
that makes me happy for
shall I
the
do?
film. What?
Shall I do? I'll show that fucking logo about Alex's ass, mate. Oh, throughout that entire time he was there doing that. He was fucking going.
I did the gun.
I didn't even
Did
notice till the
full
end.
Mikey.
I didn't really
I'm
notice till the
beating
last second.
I didn't do that. What the fuck are you on about?
Yes, you did.
No,
You did do that. I saw you do that. I don't think you noticed, but you did that.
Right,
I don't think I meant to.
I think that's a good place to call this one.
Yeah.
I did the
Hopefully,
gun in the mouth.
hopefully
Yes.
next week Connor should be back, so we can do me and him can do a spooky talk that
Whoa.
we've basically put off for 2 weeks for the fact of him being ill. If not, then I'll have to try and I'll probably end up doing like another group one with someone else. If you know the other show doesn't happen again. So we'll see. Thank you two for actually joining this to replace Connor for a bit and also
You're
fix the
welcome.
blank spot we got given today.
Hint, hint. But yeah, no problem. You know, I do apologise for Alex being here, but you know, it can't be helped.
So yeah, as always, if there's any questions people want to ask us, drop them in the comments and whatnot. And you know,
Like if you want to know where I bought my Slowpoke cat from or Slowpoke earrings, just ask me. I'll answer any questions.
yeah, any questions? Why is Alex here?
Any questions?
Those sort of questions.
Yeah.
Why was I here?
No, Craig. You can't eat that, Craig. No.
No, Craig.
Don't answer that question, Craig.
Craig, don't watch this.
And Craig, Strongbow is, I don't know if it is strong or not. I saw that was the only comment I've seen recently, and that was from you on the other podcast. So about Strongbow isn't strong or something like that. You know, I thought I'd answer any question.
It's a question.
It's not really a question, but you know.
The fuck? Is Craig stupid?
Yes.
Yeah. If you obviously like the podcast, you know, like, subscribe, you know, the usual bullshit. I'm still trying to sort it out to get it back on Spotify and shit. There's gonna be a bulk load of them going out if I do get it back on, because there's about 4 or 5. So yeah, until next time, see you there.
I like money.
Kill me.
Money!